Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's Diego with my beautiful wife, Karina, from beautiful Venezuela. We went through the K-1 visa process just like you guys are going through the K-1 visa process. And on February 29th, 2024, Karina mailed off her green card application for her green card. She's all excited, and we put the documents together. And this video is about the application to register permanent residency or adjust your status USCIS form 485. If you don't know how to fill out form 485, this is the video to watch. Here we go. It consists of 20 pages and it is about the beneficiary. It is about your new wife or your new husband who is coming to reside permanently, who is going to apply for the green card to live, work, and reside permanently in the United States. It consists of 20 pages. Page 1 of your adjustment of status paperwork is they're going to ask you, what is your current legal name? Well, Karina she dropped her maiden name when she was in Colombia, because she was from Venezuela, moved to Colombia. She got married to me. She dropped her maiden name and took my name. So her current legal name is Karina Ross. And then she puts her middle name on block 1C. Then they ask you, what other names have you used since birth? Well, on this block, Karina put her first name, Karina, and her maiden name, which was before she married me. Okay? So she puts her married name first, and then her name before she married me second. Then she puts in the other names used since birth, other information about you. What is her date of birth? She puts her date of birth in there. Are you male or female? Well, Karina's female. She checks the block female. And what town was she born in? Well, she was born in Caracas, Venezuela. That's page 1. It's easy, guys. You can do this. It's so easy a caveman can do it, right?
Instead of telling everyone it's so easy a caveman can do it, I wouldn't be having an existential meltdown.
Now we're going to move on to page 2. Page 2 of USCIS form 485. Page 2, number 8, part 1, part 8. What is your country of birth? Well, Karina was born in Venezuela. What is her country of citizenship or nationality? She is Venezuelan. And what is her alien registration number? Well, you can get the alien registration number off of your NOA2 letter under her name. So I found Karina's NOA2 letter, I found her alien registration number, and she wrote it in block 10, page 2, under her name. And then what is her online account number? Well, she doesn't have an account number. What's her U.S. mailing address? It says in care of. Well, she's not in care of anybody. This is her house. This is our house. So she puts NA for in care of. But then you put the street number, the city or town where we live, and the state, which is Florida, and the zip code. Okay? And then if you have an alternate or safe mailing address, if something happened when you came to America, if your sponsor wasn't such a good person and you got protective custody, you can put your safe mailing address there. And then, have you ever got it? And then they ask you on number 14, your Social Security card. If you went down to the Social Security Administration and got your beneficiary, she got her Social Security number, you're going to put yes, you've been issued a Social Security card. If not, you put no. If you know what your Social Security number is, you put it in block 15. Okay? And you can get your Social Security number very easily. I made a video on how to do that. If you haven't got your Social Security number, you're going to check the box. Yes, you want the Social Security Administration to get your Social Security number for you. And then you check yes, that you will authorize Homeland Security to disclose this information to the Social Security Administration so you can get it. And then you come down to recent immigration history and you put in your passport number. If you used a travel document, you put the expiration date of your passport number, month, day, year. Country that issued the passport, which is Venezuela for beautiful Karina. And non-immigrant visa number, it is not applicable for Karina. Place of last arrival. Well, we arrived in Miami, Florida from Bogota, Colombia. I accompanied Karina from Bogota to Miami, which is in Florida. And we arrived on January 3rd, 2024. We got married January 14th, 2024. Now we're going to go to page 3 of 20, USCIS form I-485. Part 1, information about you. Person applying for the lawful permanent residence. Continued. It's like a drama, right? It's like a love story, but in papers. You're going to check block 1A, the third block down from 1A, which is permanent person admitted to the United States as a fiancé or a child of a fiancé, form I-129F, K1, K2. That's what you're going to check. That box, that X is going to go there. Okay? Nothing else is going to go there other than your I-94 arrival departure record number, which is on the left side of this form. Well, I made a video on how you can get your I-94 arrival and departure number. So you put your I-94 number in block 26A, and then you put the expiration date of your I-94, which is 90 days from the issue date. When you arrived at the airport, you got 90 days to get married. You don't have 90 days to process your green card, but you do have 90 days to get married. That's what that means. The I-94 is a 90-day window of time to get married. Not 3 months, because 3 months could be 93 days. It's 90 days. You put the expiration date of your I-94 on 26B, and then the status of your form I-94 is K1. Your status of admission is K1. And has your status changed? Well, you got married, right? So technically you could be classified as a K3, but I would just put K1 in there in block 27. Just my opinion. And then you provide your name exactly as it appears on your I-94. So you print your I-94 form and you put your beneficiary, she or she puts his or her name in exactly as it showed up on the I-94. And that's page 3 of 20. We're getting through this, guys, right? It's easy. Now you're on page 4 of 20, part 2, application type of filing category. Well, your filing category is K1 visa / K2. So you come down to question 3, because nothing else applies to you. You come to part 2. Are you applying for adjustment of status based on Immigration and Nationality, the Act of INA section 245I? No, you're not. All right. And then information about your immigrant category. The receipt, they're asking for the receipt number of your underlying petition. Well, the receipt number is on your NOA2 letter. And then the priority date, you won't have a priority date for a K1 visa. So if you're looking for a priority date on your NOA2 letter, you're not going to find it because you don't have one, because there's no priority. There is unlimited number of K1 visas that are available. And then if you have a K2, a derivative, if you are a derivative applicant, the spouse or unmarried child, provide the following information for the principal applicant. So the principal applicant's name is going to go in there. So this is if you are filing this, when you fill out when you adjust status for green card, your K2 has to apply for a green card also on a separate I-485. So this is where that information is going to go for the K2. And then you go to part 3, additional information about you. Have you ever applied for an immigrant visa to obtain permanent residency in the United States at a U.S. embassy? Yes or no? Well, it's going to be no. You've never applied unless you're on your second K1 visa, the beneficiary, that is. The location, and then you put the location of the embassy or the consulate where you went. But it's not going to apply to you, okay? Because you're on your first K1 visa, it's not going to apply. You got it? So, part 4 of 20, application type of filing. You just basically disregard all of it. And then in part 2, it says, you put no, you're not applying for an adjustment based on the INA section 245I. It doesn't apply to you. Now, don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this paperwork is for your beneficiary, your new wife or husband. And they're going to ask now for the address history of your new wife or husband. Well, Karina lives here in Florida. Okay? So her current address will be this address right here in Florida. From January 3rd, 2024 until present day. Now, where did she live before here? Well, she lived in Bogota, Colombia for almost 6 years. So Her second address, physical address, was her address in Bogota, Colombia. And we lived together in Bogota, Colombia. You know, I was back and forth to the United States for 2.5 years. So that was her first address. And then her address before that, I moved her out of that apartment. That was the third address. And then underneath that is her employment history. Where did she work? Well, she was the manager of some ice cream stores. So that information in Bogota, Colombia. So under employment history, where she worked in Bogota, Colombia, that goes in Part 11, page 5 of 20. Okay, what was her occupation? Where was the address? You got it? Okay, guys, it's easy, guys. You can do this. Now, page 6 of 20 of USCIS Form I-485 continues with additional information about your beneficiary. Now, this is about your beneficiary, your new wife or husband. What was his or her dates of employment? Employer 1, employer 2, okay? And then you come over to part 4, information about your parents. That's not my parents. It's Karina's parents, her mom and her dad, okay? What was her parents' legal name, family name, given name, middle name, name at birth, date of birth, city or town, okay? Parents, mom and dad, okay? Page 6 of 20. Page 7 of 20, guys, USCIS Form I-485. You're going to continue about your parents, Karina's mom and dad. So parent number 1 we put was her dad. Parent number 2 was her mom. What was her mom's family name, her given name, her middle name? What's her date of birth? Where was she born? Well, Karina's mom was born in Venezuela, Caracas, Venezuela. Okay? And the current residence, where does she live? Well, Karina's mom lives in Caracas, Venezuela. Now they come on to part 5 of page 7, information about your marital history. What is your current marital status? Well, Karina's married to me. So her current marital status is married. Put an X in the married block. Then they ask, if you are married, is your spouse a current member of the U.S. Armed Forces? No, I'm not. I'm retired. And then they ask, this is page 7, okay, part 4, question 3. Part 5, question 3. How many times have you been married? The question is, how many times have you been married, Karina, before me? 0. Karina was never married. She was single. So if your beneficiary is divorced or has an annulment or her husband or his husband or whatever is passed away, okay, if your beneficiary was married once in the past, you can put a 1 in there. But if you are marrying somebody who has never been married before, okay, part 5, information about your marital history, question 3, how many times have you been married? You put 0. And then you put information about your current marriage. Well, Karina's married to me. So now Karina puts my name, my last name, my first name, my middle name. And if you are a naturalized American citizen, you will have an alien number. You put that underneath that. What is my date of birth? When did we get married? We got married on January 14th, 2024 on the beach. Where was I born? City or town? State or province? Country? Where were we married? Question 9A, page 7. What's the place of our marriage? Oh, we got married on the beach in Navarre, Santa Rosa County. Is your current spouse applying with you? No, I'm already an American citizen. I don't need to apply for nothing. Okay? You got it? Come on. Let's go to the next page.
Hola.
Now we go to page 8 of 20. Part 5, information about your marital history. This is information about Karina's marital history, not mine. Okay? Was Karina married before in the past? No. So they asked, what was your prior spouse's legal name? Well, she'd never been married before. So it's N.A., N.A., N.A. Place of marriage, N.A., N.A. So it's all N.A. Because if your beneficiary's never been married before, okay, your new husband or wife from the Philippines, from India, from Colombia, from Venezuela, wherever, never been married before, everything's going to be N.A. in part 5. Then you go to part 6, information about your children. How many K2s did you bring over to the United States, Miss Beneficiary? If you brought 2, you're going to put 2 in block 1, part 6. If you brought 5, you're going to put 5. If you didn't bring any, you put 0. Okay? And then on page 8 of 20, you list the children's names. And if they have any alien receipt, any alien numbers, their date of birth, and is the child applying with you? But if you have a K2, you're going to put the child's K2 name in there, and you're going to check, yes, your child is applying with you. Okay, let's go to the next page. Okay, now we're on page 9 of 20 of USCIS Form I-485. And you finish up on your K2s and you go to Part 7, Biographic Information. Biographic information, this is about your beneficiary. What Karina's biographic information is, she's Hispanic. So I checked the box, Karina checked the box for Hispanic. They asked for the race. What is her race? They asked how tall is she? How much does she weigh? Well, that's a top secret. That's top secret information, how much a woman weighs. So never ask that question. But immigration will give them a pass, okay? What's Karina's eye color? What's her hair color? And then they ask in part 8 on page 9 of this form, have you ever been a member involved in any organizations or associations? Well, she hasn't. She put no. And if she was, she would have had to explain it on page 9. Okay? Let's go to page 10. So now page 10 of 20. So we're halfway through this horrible document, right? It's not horrible. It's easy, guys. It's easy. Now you're going to get asked questions that are yes or no. All right? And let's go. Let me take one for example. Question 24A, page 10. Have you ever been a J non-immigrant exchange visitor who was subject to the 2-year foreign residency requirement? Well, K1's going to put no. All right? So it's all going to be basically no, 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 no. Here's a question. Question 15. Have you ever been denied a visa to the United States? No. Karina's never been denied a visa to the United States. So you answer the questions. You read the questions. You answer them honestly. All right? Let's go on to page 11, guys. Look, we're moving through this. So pages 11 and 12 are more questions of security. They're security type questions. So you read the question carefully and check the box with the correct answer. Now we're on page 13 and it's part 8. Part 8, general eligibility and inadmissibility grounds. Continued. So you answer all these questions and then you come up to public charge. Public charge. Are you subject to the public charge ground of inadmissibility under the INA section 212A4? Yes, you are. You check block. Yes, you are subject to that because you're on a K1 visa. If you were coming in as an asylee, if you were coming in for asylum from Afghanistan, from Syria, from Ukraine, wherever it is you're getting asylum from, you would put no. But because us taxpayers will be covering your expenses. But as a sponsor, I am responsible for Karina, okay? So you put, yes, I am, she is subject to the public charge ground of inadmissibility. Got to make sure you make enough money to support your sponsor. Then you come up to question 62. What is your household size? Okay? Household size is sponsor, beneficiary, and any children. So if you have your sponsor, you have your beneficiary, and let's suppose you brought 2 kids over on a K2, your family size is 4. If you brought 1 child over, your family size is 3. If it's just you and your beneficiary, your family size is 2. Then on page 13 of 20, they keep going with page 13, they ask, what is your annual household income? Well, this is your combined income now because you are married. So my income is Karina's income. Karina's income is my income. We're married. So what is your annual household income? Basically, this is how much money do I make at this point because Karina hasn't got her green card yet. She's applied for it. So you check how much money you make as a family household. It's not your beneficiary's income. It's the family income. And then you identify the total value of your household assets. Well, you're married. My assets are Karina's assets. Karina's assets are my assets. My house is her house. Her house is my house. So this is about the beneficiary whose combined assets now include the sponsors. Do you understand that? It's easy, guys. You can do this. You can do it. I got confidence in you. Now we're on page 14 of 20, and it continues on about public charge. And then you identify the total value of your household liabilities. Well, if you have a $400,000 house and you owe $200,000 on it, your household liabilities will be over $186,800. If you own a $400,000 house and you have no house payment, you own it straight out, then your liabilities will be zero, unless you got a car payment. If you have a car payment, then you would put, $300 a month. Then you would check whatever the value or whatever it is you owe on your car. So that's liabilities. Now, this is about the beneficiary. You're saying to yourself, well, wait a second. This is my house. This is my car. The sponsor speaking. No, once you get married, you're married. It's our house. It's our car. It's our bank account. It's not mine. It's ours. Okay? Then they ask, what is the highest degree of level of schooling have you completed? This is Karina they're talking about. She has a degree in taxation, in accounting. So she checked the box, degree, and then in part 67, list your certifications. She wrote, I have a degree in tax accounting, U.S. equivalency. Because we got it, a U.S. equivalency, okay? And then you fill out the questions. Have you ever received SSI? Have you ever received any welfare? Have you ever been institutionalized in the United States? If so, when and where? Okay? So hopefully that's going to be no and no, right? Now we're on page 15 of 20. We're getting through this, ladies and gentlemen. These are questions about illegal entries and other immigration violations. You know, like there's a question here, 69A. Have you ever failed or refused to attend or to remain in attendance at a removal proceeding filed against you on or after April 1st, 1997? No, never happened. Another question. Have you ever knowingly encouraged, induced, assisted, abetted, or aided in any foreign national to enter or try to enter the United States illegally? No. So you answer all the questions, including miscellaneous conduct, on page 15. All right? Page 16 of 20, you finish up on your general eligibility and if you have any inadmissibility grounds. And then they ask you in part 9, accommodation for individuals with disabilities or impairments. If you're blind, if you need help with this form, this is where you fill that out. And then that part 10 is the applicant's statement, contact information, declaration, certification, and signature. So you're going to, on this page, you're going to put in the applicant's contact information, Karina's daytime phone number, Karina's cell phone number, Karina's email address. Okay? And then because Karina is from Venezuela and doesn't speak English yet, we check the box 1B, the interpreter named in part 11 read to me every question in this form. Okay, got to have an interpreter. All right, you got it? Come on, let's go on to page 17. Now on page 17, the applicant, Karina, signed her full name in black ink. Her first name, her middle name, and my last name. Remember, Karina took my last name. And that is indicated on page 1 of this adjustment of status paperwork. So you sign your full name. You don't do a chicken scratch screw. You don't sign like a doctor. Okay. You don't sign like nobody can read it. You sign it where you can read it. First name, middle name, last name, and you date it in black ink. And then the interpreter will put his or her information on page 17 of 20, the interpreter's full name, first name, middle name, last name. Does he or she own a business or organization? It's not irrelevant. You don't have to get a certified interpreter to do this. You can have, if your best friend's neighbor's second cousin speaks Spanish or Thai or Chinese or whatever, you can use that person. But you got to put the interpreter's mailing address and contact information on page 17 of 20. You got it? It's easy, guys.
Go ahead and say that.
Huh.
On page 18 of 20, the interpreter will sign his or her full name and date it. And the interpreter's certification will say, I certify under penalty of perjury that I am fluent in English and Spanish for Karina. The interpreter then signs his or her full name and dates it. And then if you had a preparer fill this form out, then you fill out the preparer's information. But if you helped your beneficiary, or if your beneficiary filled it out, the preparer's information will be NA, 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 NA. NA, 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 NA. You got it? Okay. On page 19 of 20, the preparer, if you use the preparer, will sign his or her full name and date it. And that's it. You don't do anything else on page 19. Because part 13 is if you have to go to a green card interview in a city close by to where you live for your green card application adjudication. All right? And page 20 is if you want to add any additional information about your adjustment of status for a green card. Okay? You want to add anything additional, you put it on page 20. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. And don't forget, I do a live stream with beautiful Karina on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays at 6 p.m. Central Time, which is 7 p.m. Miami time, which is 5 p.m. Albuquerque time, which is 4 p.m. San Diego time. Join us at the live stream. I'm not an immigration attorney. I don't give you any legal advice. I put these videos together to help you get your green card or your K-1 visa or spousal visa or B2 tourist visa for free, so you don't have to pay an immigration attorney thousands and thousands of dollars to fill out this simple paperwork. Okay? Thanks for watching, guys, and stay patient during this process. Be patient, and we will see you soon at the next live stream. Bye.
Okay, I'll talk to you later. See you later. Bye.
I'll be back.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.